I'll end up clearing it at some point.
I mean, 73 hours left?
73 hours left.
Oh.
It's probably...
I mean, we probably should be good. I don't think we're going to hit that hard.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah. I'm going to plug in this phone just because I know what's going to happen.
That's what, 24, 48, 72, that's 3 days. So we got 3 days in an hour.
3 days in an hour.
So that means... So,
that's if all the technology can keep up with the battery life.
it was plugged in.
Well, what we were just talking about was churches. So we'll start there because I think it introduce us pretty quickly. So you said something about you don't like the new style, like contemporary churches.
Yeah, it's like my biggest thing is because it seems too much like you're soliciting. Like, I don't like the whole soliciting thing. I feel like it should be a personal choice. I feel like you should want to come to God. Like, you should want to come to church. You should want to be in that area. Not like how, like, Jehovah's and stuff, they go out and solicit, like, have you heard? Have you heard? And then when they, like, I like the more traditional, like, I grew up Catholic, so I like the traditional regiment, like, this is how it's going, and then it's up to, like, the, up to the father to actually, like, go through his homonym and, like, try to, like, relate whatever his message is going through.
Right.
I'm not a fan of, like, okay, let's have a couple of scripture readings, and then we're going to now have a band play and worship and sing and clap, and we're doing this to get the younger crowd in and get them more excited about it. I'm like, it should be a personal choice, not like, to me it almost feels gimmicky. Like,
okay.
Because, like, I don't like the whole like super church, like Joel Osteen style, like giant like stadiums, like this is why we're here, like I'm gonna go and
this is why we're here.
Yeah.
I get it, man. So you do like the Catholic tradition then?
Yeah.
Where I struggle with the Catholic tradition is that sometimes I feel like I'm not learning. I'm there, I'm just going through a ritual as opposed to me actually learning. And maybe I got the whole idea of what church is wrong. You know? I thought I'd go to church so I can get fed something good. You know, where I can hear the word of God and apply it to my life, as opposed to where in a Catholic, and the homily's rather short. Right, the tradition of it is long, whereas the homily is rather short.
Yeah, it's usually like a 5-10 minutes if he's going off on a like something that's like really he's really passionate in. But the main thing that where like I grew up with it was when you were brought into the church and up into an adult, we had like after mass Sunday school for like an hour. That's where you did a lot of like the learning. It was up to like your parents to teach you, and then like some like the after school.
You had after school programs?
Well, it was usually Sunday. Like they did have like other ones, but like it was like we would do it like while we were there. But it was like basically like they were like explaining what they didn't really deep dive in. It was more of like, here's what you do, like here's what it is, like, and it's more of like kind of the backstory. If you want to deep dive in, there's other like programs if you want to ask questions and stuff and talk with him. That he'll like if he had a good father, he'd sit down afterwards and like chat with you and stuff if you wanted to know more about it. But essentially, it's like, okay, it's like here is like the message that we're trying to get out this week. It's just kind of going through, giving little like stories and how it kind of relates to it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the homily is where it's supposed to bring everything together, what you're hearing. Because to me, religion is more of like, it teaches you the basics, and when you really need something, that's when it comes to you. You don't really come to it. Like, it's kind of how like karma is. Like, you do good things because you expect good things to happen later on, but you can't choose when you want to use it. Like, the best thing that I would have to say that really kept my faith in the church was when I was back in college. My girlfriend of like 3 years broke up with me, and just the day that she broke up, super upset, super distraught, like didn't know what to do with myself, so just depressed, wasn't eating much. Night came, couldn't sleep, just kind of tossing and turning, and eventually got up when I was just laying there, saw the sun was starting to come up, so I was like, all right, well, didn't sleep at all, so I just got dressed and just was walking around the town, and then ended up passing the only Catholic church that's in there. Looked at the sign, said Sunday Mass, 9 a.m. Looked down at my watch, 6 a.m. It's like, all right, it's 3 hours till Mass. Let's go see if the doors are open. Walked up, opened the doors, and just sat in the back. Just 3 hours.
Silence.
Yeah. No one's there. No nuns. No support staff. Not even a janitor. It was just me. I just sat in the back by myself quietly. And then 3 hours later, people start rolling in, go through the whole Mass. The whole, like, that Mass, the whole, like, message of that Mass was, don't let the past consume you. Don't let the past, like, own you. You need to learn from it and move on and keep looking forward. And I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, what are the odds?
Right.
This is the message for this Mass.
God was straight up talking to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of why I kind of believe it's like, you know what? It's like this Mass that I'm sitting in for other things may not apply to me, but somewhere, someone in this crowd, this is the message they need to hear.
For those that are listening that don't know Catholic faith and don't understand the Catholic structure because they weren't into it, right? They're born Protestant, all that stuff. For that to be a coincidence it's not a common message that you'll get in a Catholic service or a Catholic Mass. Usually the Catholic Mass is kind of like when it comes to the homily, a lot of times it just has something to do with whatever scripture, and then they tie a little bit in there, but it's not, in my opinion, very personal, but for you to sit there and it be personal, it's rare. And so therefore, to me, for someone who is judging the Catholic point of view or whatever, or saying that, well, God can't work through, absolutely he can work through Catholic. It doesn't matter that it's Catholic. God's going to use whatever he wants, and that is one of his churches.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, like, people always complain, it's like, oh, where's God now? What's he do for you? It's like, he's not your servant. You serve him. He'll come to you when you need it, not when you think you need it.
It's pretty deep, man. That is the truth, though. I guess sometimes I get caught up in that too, where I'm demanding God. Like, where are you, God? And that's a terrible. Like, he's been there and he is there and he will be there. We just read Psalm 50 the other night, me and the wife, and it says, he is not a silent God. But in the beginning of that chapter, it's talking about how good God is, right? And how if you're good and you're righteous, God is not quiet. And then it says, but if you're messing up and you're going against him or whatever, he is silent. And it says, my silence makes you think that I was aligning with what you were doing, but now I'm going to destroy you. And it's like, hold on. So when you're doing the right thing, this could be, extreme, but when you're doing the right thing, or at least on the right path, the way you know it is how loud God is talking. Because I think when you push him away, he gets quiet. And so I guess what you were doing in that moment, you were seeking him so hard, and it was the right path, and he was very loud for you. So It doesn't matter what building you were in my opinion. I think that if you went to another church, he would have spoke to you there too. Yeah,
and like I say, it's one of those things, like, the one question that I've learned to ask myself when shit's going really wrong for me, like, if everything's going wrong, if I feel like I need him, and, like, if I'm asking and I'm asking and I'm not getting a response, the better question isn't where are you, but what are you trying to show me? Because he's giving you the answers. It's all there. You just need to take a step back, reevaluate from what you think you need, because what you need, the question, like, is like, I need this. It's like, no, you want this. You don't need this. I'm giving you this because this is what you actually need, not this. So a lot of times if something's going wrong and I'm trying to figure something out, I just start looking around at everything that I've been given. It's like, okay, what are you trying to show me? Like, what am I missing? There's something that you want to show me, which is why you haven't pulled me out of this yet. So why am I here? Why am I going through this? What do you need me to see?
James, I've been friends with you for a very long time, and we've only had maybe one faith talk. And it was pretty deep, too. I don't know if you remember, not long ago, right? And that's why I was asking you to come on, because I was like, you know what? I'm curious if there's more in there.
Yeah.
And what the heck?
And that's what I said. It's like, that's why I like the traditional style of Catholicism, because it shouldn't be forced upon you. It should be something you want to go to. I don't like forcing my ideals on people, because are you doing it out of self-righteousness, or are you doing it because this is actually what God wants?
Well, let me ask you, do you think that the Catholic Church is not forceful?
So, like I said, with them not actually soliciting, with them not actually, like if you want in, like, they're like, yeah, this is, if you want in, this is what you have to do. We're not going to come to your door and say, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to come to us. We want you to come to us. We need you to come to us. But they're there if it's like, hey, I have questions with no answers. And they're like, come sit down.
So do you think, like, Elevation Worship, for example, are you familiar with them?
I mean, there's several different.
How about we use the local church, LCBC?
Yeah, I know of them. Never actually been to them. Like, so, like, when I've gone out stuff, like, I've gone with other people's like churches and stuff, and they've gone into like the similar style where it's like, hey, you come in, and it's the pastors. The pastors for those churches are almost like, they're like youth pastors. Like, hey, kids, come on in. We're gonna talk. Let's like chat this out. Maybe sing some songs. We're gonna do some cool activities, and then we're gonna like just talk about. It's like, and then like, hey, we got this band playing. Like, that's the style of church where I was like, it's not for me, because I said I feel like it should be a personal relationship, not because, oh, this is cool, I want to be in with this, like, this is cool, I want to go because I like the band, I like the music, I like this. Like, no, it's like, I want to go because I need to like recharge my spiritual battery. I need to like just take an hour and just like kind of refocus.
Okay. This is why there's a place for everybody when it comes to the different churches.
Yeah, there is no right or wrong way. Everything has their own like bad eggs. Of course, everyone knows like,
oh yeah, everyone
knows like the negative like side of certain like.
I have a friend who says the reason why Catholic Church get beat up the most is because they've been around the longest.
Yeah.
So give it time, and everybody's going to go down through their terrible publicity too.
So the way that I was brought up knowing about it, I could be wrong, but like the original way that I was taught was the Catholics came first, and then everyone branched off.
That's well, you ask Protestants that, they'll say no, but if you ask an educated Protestant, yes.
Yeah, because everyone took the teachings, and they're like, well, I don't fully like how you say this. I think this should be interpreted this way, which came off like Lutherans. I don't like this or this, so we have like Mennonites over here, and then we have like
it just
Lutherans.
Keeps going.
It's just some different denomination. They didn't like how certain parts were interpreted.
Right. So just a heads up, like to the Catholic Church, right? The formality of it being recognized as the Catholic Church didn't really come around until 300 and it'll be 3rd century? 4th.
Yeah, it's the one thing they didn't.
Forget how that works.
That's the one that wasn't taught too much. Was like the actual like the non-religious history, like the trying to think of the word, like the admin history, like established first here. This was their first building, like things that doesn't really matter to the actual religion itself. Just like the hard data, like trying to think of the word.
But I'll give you this though: the original Catholics they did already exist. The bishops, the handing down from apostle to apostle, that's all been around. The Pope, that was already in place. It wasn't until I would say 4th century, that's technically what it was, that they organized the faith enough to be like, we believe this. And that's when technically the Catholics divide it, because that's when the Eastern Orthodox and the Roman Catholics divide it. But until that point, Catholic, the idea of it, all it means is universal. The idea of it was already there. I think the practice of it, the tradition of it, though, developed over the course of however long it was. I'm sure parts of it were already there. From what I hear and read, it's really they would do, I guess, in underground tunnels and stuff, underground rooms, because they couldn't go out or without being hung, burned alive, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, whenever you severely challenge, like, the power's norms there.
Right. So those guys would be hiding.
That.
Right. And they were underground, and they would do the whole Eucharist thing.
Yeah.
How they did it, though, was a little different than how we do it today, for example. But they would sit in a circle. They knew the word scripturally, and apparently they probably had their early manuscripts already at this point. So they would read a segment, read a chapter, verse, whatever the case may be, and then they would do the whole Eucharistic thing, which is do this in memory of me, right? And they would share it and break bread and do that as a Christian community. That is probably my I would find the most important piece of the Catholic tradition that all these other churches fail to bring. Not that they don't do them. They all have some type of Eucharist, but they don't put it at a level of doing it every week. And I think that the Catholic Church is the only one that does it. At least I'm pretty sure. It could be Lutherans too, because they're really close to Catholicism.
Yeah, so I know, like, so I've been to some other ones and stuff, so trying to think of it, like, so I've been to a bunch of different churches, so it's not like, just because, like, either, like, girlfriends, friends, like, when I'm out on like schools and stuff, if someone's going to church, I'm like, I'll come with, why not?
Right.
Just experience something in a different part of the world that I haven't seen yet, and then I can make that educated decision, like, I'm not somebody that's going to hate on anything that I haven't first experienced or learned about.
Right.
So if I'm hating on something for some reason, it's like, I don't know, I've been there, done that, like, I've experienced it. Like, this is why I don't personally like it.
Gotcha.
Whereas something where it's like, hey, did you ever try that squid ink risotto? I'm like, I can't say I like it. I've never had it, but it looks horrible, but I can't say it's bad until I try it.
Hey, I got this poop sandwich. You want some poop sandwich? You might really like it. It's a cuisine down here, and you're like, oh, I gotta try it.
Yeah. Well, the same thing too.
Tastes like poop.
With like the whole microbreweries with beers.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to be like instead of saying like, oh, I really like it, like oh, like that beer's bad, that beer's like not good, because to me it's not good, but to someone else they may love it. So I've learned to say that when I try something that I don't like, it's like, it's not my taste.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I'm not saying it's bad, because
why are you?
Yeah, it's like why is it bad? I just don't like the flavor profile. Okay, well the guy that brewed it, he loved it. That's why he made 6,000 barrels. Oh,
so I get the whole gimmick thing about the churches, by the way, because for instance, this church I just went to on Saturday, I really enjoyed myself and I had a great time, and I enjoyed the message. It was great. But I did see certain things I'm not a huge fan of. You walk in the door, there was hot chocolate, coffee, popcorn, all this stuff to kind of like, almost like you're going into see a movie, essentially, right? And I was like, I'm not too sure about that. Whatever, I'm not going to partake in it. I'm just going to go right in there and get ready to worship. Music starts, and I am a fan of the contemporary style music, mainly because it's what I listen to outside of church as well, right? Predominantly. So I feel like it gets me in the mindset, and like some folks just need hymns to get them in the mindset, like basic, just church hymns, not like a contemporary style full song, right? So I do think it is flavor of the week, or not flavor of the week. That's a horrible way to say it. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? Is rendition the word? Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's a rendition of the church. That sounds really good. But yeah, that's basically where we're at, is that you're selecting your cup of tea. You like the tradition. Whereas if that is feeding you, right? Isn't it equal to the guy who's going to the contemporary side and getting fed there?
Yeah, if it helps them, I'm not going to tell them to stop.
Sure.
It's like, hey, it's like, do you want to get more into this? Like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't like that, like, in your face kind of style. I like the more just like subtle. This is like, if it relates to you personally, then that's where it's going to stick the hardest.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that they're equal
between them all? I feel like that style has, because it's more like pop culture almost. It has. I feel like it almost has a higher chance to be a little more corrupt, because they have more masks. They're out there trying to like get more and more people in. They have more ways to basically funnel money. It's like, hey, we have a cafe over there. We have all these different programs you can pay for. You can like, it just. It seems like they're doing like more. I would almost want to see the transparency of where that money's going, because there are a lot. Like I don't want to see the church run like a business, and a lot of those, if you see like the, I guess like you could call them like owners, like the owners that like building a church, they're looking to, okay, can we get a profit?
I guess depending on the church, depending on where you're going. Like the local church, I would say LCBC. I believe they're transparent, and I also think they're all about just spreading out, but they donate a lot of money. And this is what I do find in contemporary churches, is that the people are more inclined to give, whereas the Catholic Church, it's almost like they're always asking for money, always pulling teeth, and they're demanding it at some point. Whereas some of these other churches, they're not demanding it. They're just like, hey, you're open to give. You don't even have to put your name on it. You can just give if you want to give as an anonymous. It's 100% up to you. Whereas our church, for example, I go to a Catholic church too, more frequent, like, and they will say, like, you got to have the name on there, because it has to be tied to our family name in order to do anything at that church. So that's why sometimes I will get a salty taste in my mouth with the Catholic tradition, because I almost feel like there's always a good deed system, essentially, that I'm trying to prove myself to the church that I'm a good person because I give and I show up. And when I grew up in the church too. Older boy, my mom, we were all very invested in the church itself. So we're always around, and I worked at the rectory for a couple of years, and it did always seem to have this. There's favoritism naturally, because the priest can, I guess, either count on you, maybe, if that's maybe what it is. I don't know, but it just seemed like there was always kissing up, very political in a way that, it just, to me, it was political, because there was always kind of negative conversations about other people, not necessarily the priest, but talking to the priest, complaining about somebody else. I'm sure that happens in pastors too, right, in different churches too. But I guess I'm just, from growing up and seeing it and being heavily invested into that church, that there's certain things that stuck with me that I dislike. Like even family wanted to get they wanted their baby baptized, which to me, it's like, you want your baby baptized in this church to be baptized by Catholics, but because you're not a current Catholic, which means you don't pay.
Yeah,
they can't track that this individual is paying that, so that's one rejection. The next rejection is, the father is not he was never baptized Catholic. That's number 2 strike. So now that baby is what? Damned, because the parents, one's not current and the other one's not baptized. And you see, that's political to me. That baby, they should be like, oh, absolutely. They should be willing to baptize any infant for the sake of that infant.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know too much, about the whole political side of it, because like I said, we went to church. Like, my family always went to church, but growing up, I didn't understand it. So, like, Sundays, my brothers and I, we'd always try to be super quiet Sundays. Like, we knew that if we didn't wake them up, there's a chance they may wake up naturally too late to get us ready to go. So we'd always be trying to
push the envelope there.
Yeah, basically just trying to skirt it and stuff. So it's I didn't grow up with I was I grew up knowing the basic, okay, this is, and I just never, I just never questioned it. Like I never got into like the whole political sides. Like I was never altar boy. I was never doing like anything like fundraisers or anything for it. So it was never like I was never forced to be there. So that's why I guess like out. Like,
that's probably why you have a healthy point of view.
Yeah, since I wasn't forced, like I was given the base, and then when my mom was like, "Okay, like I mean, you're 13. We've now given you the base. You can make this choice for yourself."
Wow,
it's kind of like how like the Amish does it with Rumspringa. We've given you the base. You can go out. You can see the world, and if you want to come back, that's your choice.
Right. And a lot of them go back.
Yeah.
I think because they understand the world's pretty wild, and they learn that quick. But yeah, that's really interesting. I'm glad you actually have a point of view that's more defensive for the church. Just because my position is not really defensive for them. I get defensive in certain cases.
Like I said, the only thing I think like why you don't like you don't like your experience different than mine is like you got into the politics of it, where we were like, you know what, like your politics isn't gonna affect us, so it's like we don't need like the physical church. We want the spiritual church. So you can't gatekeep the spiritual side. So if you close your door, there's another door that's going to open somewhere else. So
do you believe in the sacraments?
Yeah.
So do you believe in like confession?
So I don't really believe in it as like you have to tell the Father. I believe if you want actual forgiveness for something, it's going to be in your heart. You're not going to go into a room, speak through a grate, and be like, "You're forgiven." It'll be something where like you're at your house, something's going wrong, and you're basically on like your kitchen counter, just sitting there and talking to yourself, asking for forgiveness. That's where I believe confession happens the most. Not just, well, I blew a red light camera and I got off because I fought and the officer didn't show up. Like, I feel sorry for that. Or I like cursed out this old lady at the shopping center for taking too long. It's
damn.
Like, no, it's like
what have you been through? What old lady got the wrong end of you?
Like I say, it's just one of the things like true, like actual true forgiveness is not going to be done at a certain place between the hours of 10 to 11. It's going to be done late at night by yourself with no one else around, and you're just talking to yourself. That's where true forgiveness is going to happen.
That's where the sin eats you alive. And that's why the confession, I think I agree with you. It's the moment when you're alone and you have no one to distract you, nothing to distract you, and that pain sets in of what you have in your heart, right? That's whatever that sin is that you're dealing with, struggling with. And then, I guess that's where the true repentant heart is. Because, you're not, and there's some folks, I'm sure, that go to confession to a priest that are truly repenting too. Like they're going to repent, and that they feel that he's an avenue to connect. See, and that's where I guess struggle with the whole idea of confession, just because the whole idea is that Jesus is their connection to God.
Yeah, because like I said, the way that I was brought up was, if God is all-knowing and all-seeing, then he's everywhere. He's everywhere all the time. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if you're in a church or you're in a tree stand hunting. He's there with you. Just, it's a matter if you want to talk to him or not.
Amen to that. And I don't think, go say 3 Hail Marys and 4 Our Fathers and you're forgiven. I don't think that has anything. That's nothing. That means nothing. It's the broken heart, the contrite heart, is where the forgiveness is found.
Yeah.
And that's why if I came up to you and I actually, we're just gonna use your now wife, right? We'll put your wife in this situation where she hurts you so bad, and she comes to you and just says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." Like, you're gonna be like, "Okay, like that was so fake. I don't want it." But if she came to you and you know your wife better than probably anybody at this point now, right?
Yeah.
You're going to know a fractured heart. And when it's truly like, I made a huge mistake, and you're going to see it, and you're going to see it based on her actions going from there forward too. And there's going to be a change. And that's what I think Jesus is looking for. When someone has wrong or acknowledges they're wrong. You know it. And so we're taught as a kid, go in there, tell them what you said, what you did. And it's always the same thing. When I was a kid, it was the basics. I said a curse word. I disobeyed my parents. And these are all my sins I am able to remember. And that's literally the words I would say. And it's like, hold on. I'm being taught a formality, which is probably good to some degree. A kid should learn how to confess, get it out, right? But at some point, the child needs to be taught to be held accountable to God and understand what is it that I did wrong and really understand it.
Yeah, so like it doesn't mean anything if you don't actually mean it. And that's where my parents, they accidentally created a monster. They didn't realize it till it was too late. They ingrained when I come in and it's like,
I'm assuming your brother or you.
Well, just anytime that we would do something bad, like, now go, I'll apologize. Like, I'm sorry for hitting you. I'm sorry I took your toy. And like, no, mean it. Like, what's like, and then just something should just click. It's like, well, don't say it if you don't mean it. So I'm kind of literal, so I took that literal. So at a certain point, if I didn't mean it, I didn't say I'm sorry. I was like, go say you're sorry. I'm like, no. It's like, why? I knew I did nothing wrong. I'm not saying I'm sorry. It's like
whoa.
It's like, whoa. I'm not apologizing if I don't mean it.
I was taught the same thing. You got to mean it.
Yeah.
And the problem was now, and to this day, my wife will tell you, dude, I could be a son of a gun where I am like really resistant towards apologizing because I'll even say, I don't mean it. I'll say stuff like that because it's I don't know. It's because I guess I went through the same type of thing. You have to mean it.
Yeah, if anything, I said it pissed me off more saying I'm sorry and not meaning it than what I actually did. I'm like, I'd rather walk away upset that I did this rather than upset that I said that I'm sorry. It's like, when I feel like about this, I want to say I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't do it. Like, it was nothing wrong.
All right. Well, I got 2 little ones at home. I could probably utilize some of this discussion with them because I said it to my girls like, hey, you need to mean it. You don't just say it, mean it. But I guess the hard part about teaching them to mean it is because they're like, I'm sorry. Like she'll be like, I'm sorry, Alex. Like she doesn't really want to say it. So I'm wondering how to navigate that. But that's parenting 101. Yeah, everybody struggles with it.
Every kid is like, so it's like I was stepfather for a year and a half with one of my exes, and I will say, if you make a threat, make it something you can follow through on. Because at a certain point, they'll know you're going to follow through on it. So if that like one time that you make a threat that you can't follow through on, they still think you will. Because the amount of times when I was raising that like little girl, like age 1, like, stop that or I'm taking it. Stop that or we're leaving. Stop that or we're leaving. And she went like, okay, pick her up and we'd walk. I was like, I told you, we're going. Like,
yeah, I'll be honest, it's hard. Sometimes you feel like just the enemy, but it's okay. It's part of being a parent. You're not to be liked. You're to be their father, especially fathers. Like I'm learning a lot about myself.
And honestly, that's one of those things that's like, I grew up with a stutter. I grew up being like kind of the smaller kid. Like I was always somebody that got picked on and was bullied for certain things, and I threw myself into scenarios to learn how to overcome. So certain things I couldn't overcome, like size, until I actually like got bigger. You can only do so much when it's a strength-based thing. Mm-hmm. But like I said, like, the amount of times that I got like bullied for like stuttering, and I didn't like being in front of people because it made my stutter worse. I actually signed up to be a baseball umpire in high school, so I could work on getting over my fear of stuttering in front of crowds. And I'm like, what better way to work on this than throw yourself in front of little league parents and call their kid out when they thought they were safe.
Holy hell. Wait a minute. So how old were you when you did this?
I was like 16.
Oh, so you were a young boy still, and
Yeah.
you made the decision on your own to try to face your fear.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, because I was like, I always was picked on for something, and at a certain point, I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore. It only matters what I think. And that's one of the things that my wife tells me constantly. She's like, I wish I had your level of confidence. Just, you don't care about being in front of people. You don't care about looking dumb. You don't like care about you're just you. And if somebody calls you out on it, you just say okay and continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honestly, I told her, I was like, at a certain point, when you take enough hits, it stops hurting. And then you just realize once you hit that point, you're like, this is what I can do. You just stop caring about it, and it's like, okay, it's like, if I stop caring about this, I can focus over here. And it really throws a lot of people off when you don't give them the reaction they're hoping for.
So one of the things that me and my wife are working on is not feeding into it. Like, so let's say I'm pissed, I'm grumpy, whatever the case may be, and I basically antagonize. I'm looking for a fight, you know? And so I'm pushing her. If she doesn't give in, I will feel so bad as time, you know, when we settle down, and I'm like, I'll think about it and go, I was wrong. Like I was she didn't even buy into it. So I was the one who was yelling or saying nasty things, and because she never responded to it, and I just kept pushing. And at the end of it, when she didn't buy into it ever, I'm the one sitting there with guilt, which is the wrong, and that's great. And I think vice versa, same rule applies. I've had her where she was just looking for it, and I was able to hold my ground just enough to be like, look, I don't know what's going on here. Anyhow, maybe in a bullying thing, I wonder if that's a good teaching role. That's why you just let it flick off you and don't care. Because whether it's now, 20 years from now, people reflect on their life. And I'll tell you what, if they find Christ in it, they'll have guilt. If I was a bully to one kid over and over and over again, and I grew up and I'm at where I'm at now as a person who follows Christ, that would eat me alive. I would try to figure out a way to make it right. I would have to reach out to him because I know that that's the power of Christ.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things. It depends, like, how bad are you actually bullying somebody? Like at what level are you pushing to? Because that's also the bigger question. Is like, yeah, if you want to go out and make amends, like, do you really want to call them 20 years later and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I said your hair was stupid for all those years? I'm like, is it really worth? I mean, if you really feel that much guilt, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I can tell you that person's long forgotten that you called his hair stupid. So to me, it's all kind of situational. It's like,
yeah,
because there's never really, like I said, there's never really been anything that I wanted somebody to apologize to me for.
Yeah, I don't think you require it. No, you don't want it. But if someone did call you and apologize, said, hey, years ago, I don't know if you remember me, I was in high school with you and I made fun of you for this, and everybody was laughing, right? Because that's usually the kind of the kicker is when you cause embarrassment. Now the embarrassment took place and it's like, hey, I am terribly sorry, but here's the thing. I found Christ and he has been putting so much pressure on me to make this call. And I don't know if you'll accept my apology. Regardless, I am sorry. Like, you'd be like, oh, first of all, I accept your apology. Second is if you didn't have God in your life, you might question. You'd be like, whoa, who's his God? That's why it's not too late for a bully either. To when he grows up, it's like, man, if you can turn that around and find Jesus, like you're gonna you could potentially reflect. That's what you see. You see a huge reflection of Christ and a big change in someone's life. It's usually pretty drastic. You want to know who their God is.
Yeah, and that's, I said, that is the one thing though too that I said, like with that drastic change, that's the one thing that I always severely question. If you do like a complete 180 on a personality, like you're this person and then now you're like super in to the church, super into religion, super into this, like I question like your moral durability. Mm-hmm. So if someone is like that guy that's like constantly bullying people, and like they're like said like a bunch of different like I would do a like I shoot in 2 different pool leagues, and we get everybody from like atheists to like the ultra religious people. Mm-hmm. I actually trust the atheists more than the ultra religious people, because they're people that have been down so far that it's like, okay, like Christ turned my life around. I'm all in the church. I'm full and fully. I'm like, your level of enthusiasm for this is throwing off a huge red flag for me. It's like, I don't understand your level of commitment. Why were you able to go like 180 so hard in the opposite direction? How easily are you swayed in directions? Like,
I would have to disagree there.
How easy is it for you to unknowingly flip back while thinking you're doing the right thing? Take like the Crusades. Mm-hmm. You're going and destroying things in the name of God.
100%.
You think you're doing right by burning down these heathen villages, but you're just destroying lives. But to you think you are like, this is what God wants you to do.
Right, but everything is backed by that's here's the thing. Yeah. We're in a day of literacy. So, back in the Crusade era, I mean, you would absolutely fought for the same thing and went and conquered lands and all that crap because we didn't read.
Yeah, it's just
we were told this is what it says.
Yeah, so it's just certain people just seeing the people that are like completely whacked out on drugs and stuff. Like this, like it's kind of like the mentally unstable people where it's like, I can see you're going in the right direction, but you're going into it a lot harder than I feel confident associating with you with. It's like there's something that's like I don't know what it is, but there's something that's like, let you do you, but
don't keep you out of it.
Yeah, it's like don't follow because there's something.
Yeah, man, I think that has a lot to do with just when you first find Christ after a brutal walk, like a bad journey. I think that you get overexcited. Your joy, that first year of finding Christ is like the greatest thing ever. And then afterwards, when it's like, okay, now you gotta keep this up for the next lifetime, essentially, right? And it's almost like the joy. It's like a reminder, like, hey,
it's almost like in life. It's almost like they don't know how to like moderate what they're feeling. They're so used to with drugs. Mm-hmm. Like that first hit, you're feeling amazing. Second hit, it's like 90% of the first one.
Sure.
And then the next one, a little less. So you start doing more and more and more to get that same feeling. So at a certain point, as soon as you withdraw, it's like, can you regulate yourself when it's not the same dosage, or you can't get that same dosage anymore? Like, at what point are you trying too hard to chase that initial high? Like, you think it always has to be like think of it like with you, like when you first met your wife. Mm-hmm. You're never gonna hit that first level. You'll be like 95, but it's like you're trying to reach that that like new relationship. That brand new relationship is always going to be like the dopamine dump in you inside your brain. And as you come, and as like you like level out with like someone, like you're always happy, but you're never that like 13-year-old boy. I'm going to get to see a boob happy for the first time. You're never going to have that first boob look again.
At first boob.
Yeah, it's like it spikes to a level that's not sustainable.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this, though, because this has been proven, right, when it comes to love for your spouse. Although you don't have that, but then you develop, like, you'll go through your hard years, because it is every marriage, every relationship, you're going to go through some really hard times. And then, but 30 years from then, you'll have this love that is incredible. Like that, it's something that you have to work towards, right? But you've heard this, correct?
Yeah,
It's a love that develops to it basically becomes unconditional love.
yeah, because like I said, the way that I like to describe most is basically like a line graph. Like when you first meet somebody, it goes way up, like incredibly high, and then as you start with them, like it's steady decline, but it never drops below the level of like happiness. So at a certain point, it like levels off, and then good things, but it never drops below happiness. But it's even though the camera's like, even though
What's
it's
different?
like yeah, even though like here is like the absolute like ceiling of like happiness, like this is like teen boy, complete hormone dump. Like this is like you're like the absolute max
This
of
is
your body.
it.
Yeah, you're like
Boobs.
you're like they're like shaking. Like you're not seeing your wife every day. Like
No.
but you're like instead of being here, you're here. And as it goes through life, there's moments of this and this, but you never hit that ceiling. But you never are far from it.
I get it. But I also think that I do think you're going to drop below happiness.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think that's where people fail to realize that. Oh, they'll come back up.
well, yeah.
Get through it.
Yeah, there's gonna be shit times. There's gonna be
Without a
hard
doubt.
times. It's going to drop. But if like here is like the base level of happiness, you're always gonna spike up, drop down, spike up, drop down. But here is like this is the level of like you have no remorse, even though like it drops down low for like a day, a week, a month, depending on how bad it is.
Right.
But if you actually persevere and come through, you come back up. But it's never that initial like hormone dump.
No. That's the beginning part is always like the crazy fun part, and then
and that's why a lot of relationships I think fail because they're trying to hit that ceiling that they can't reach. They're trying to get back up to that spike that is not sustainable.
that's probably why infidelity is a thing, because people are always seeking that high.
Yeah, because it's a new body, it's a new touch, it's something that's
It's
like
different. It's new. Yeah, and that's
so that initial spike is not sustainable. You can't hit it again in your relationship.
Hit it.
But no, it's like somewhere else it's that bar is set too high, but that's the bar that gets us interested. That's the part that gets us like wanting to get to know them more.
Right. I would agree. So we covered our thought processes on church. That's good. I like that conversation. We did veer off a little bit. It's interesting discussion. However, I did come prepared, and we can do maybe one or two of these for the sake of time. But basically, I want to read one of the scriptures that I have picked out here, and then we can discuss it, and I have a question that's associated, and then we can go from there. Now, I have Proverbs 4:23. I guess we could always start. Let's start with that because of our church conversation.
All right.
So it's Proverbs 4:23 if anyone's following along. I probably should always start with the scripture stuff because people might be like, oh, I don't have my Bible, or they might know every time they come to this podcast, maybe we'll have the Bible ready.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would say put a page number, but I guess everyone's Bible's different sizes.
That is correct. Let's see, Proverbs 4:23.
I found 11, so I'm close.
Got it. And do you want to read yours, or you want me to read mine?
Yeah, you can read it.
All right, so mine's an NIV. It's going. I think that's NIV too. Well, we'll see. Does it say on the front?
New International Version.
All right, it should line up. Okay. 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. All right. The question I have regarding this is, what steps can you take to protect your heart from influences that lead you away from God?
Honestly, the best thing that I can say for that is just be you. Don't try to conform to what people think it should be. Like, if someone's telling you, like, well, the only way to follow God is to do this, and then the next person you talk to, it's like, well, I don't do that, but I follow him doing this. Like, there's no right or wrong path if you think you are doing the right thing. And then that's where it's where it comes to like the overall like judgment day, where if your intentions were correct, it matters more than the actions. Because there's plenty of times that I've tried to do something and it failed. I was trying to do the right thing and it didn't turn out the way that I thought it was going to turn out. So as long as your intentions were good, I feel like the intention is better than the actual action. But your intentions have to be correct. Like, I'm not saying like my intention was to like bring God to this whole end. Anyone that I think doesn't follow, I must now kill and take out of the population to only have believers left. That's not a pure intention.
Right. But
it's something where it's like, hey, I brought you all this food because I'm trying to help feed the homeless, and 60% of them got sick off the food that I brought. It's like, oh, that's not what I wanted at all. It's like my intentions were pure, but right. it didn't pan out the way I was hoping. So it's like, oh, I'm sorry I got you all sick. I just wanted you not to be hungry.
I would say, from my point of view on this, would be the only thing or being that you should chase is God. It's okay to have money. It's not okay to chase money. It's okay to listen to rap music, right? It's not okay to chase after the lifestyle of it. It's okay to listen to or to watch a movie, but it's not okay to go after whatever wealth or lifestyle that these movie stars are showing, right? It's your sole purpose is, in my opinion, or not really, I think it's scriptural, is to just live for God. So you can have things, but you can't prioritize them. So, and I also think you should guard your heart against certain things, like I mentioned the rap music, but maybe you should choose a little lighter on the rap side. That's not so grungy and or painting a sinful life.
Surprisingly, there are religious rap artists out there.
Oh yeah, but let's say you don't want the religious scene. Well, maybe there's 100,000, not 100,000, but 1 million more right now. I just went even higher rap songs. But I'll say Eminem. He has a lot of songs. Some are great to listen to that I would say are not that. They're not poison. Other songs, you're like, holy crap, he put the girl in the trunk. Stan wrote him, wanted to kill his girlfriend. Next, it's going like that stuff's dark. There's no need to listen to it.
I will say though, since you bring up Eminem, like if you actually look into his story, his entire catalog is actually worth listening to. Even that song "Stan," like
sure,
just
I've listened to it.
Knowing his frame of mind at that time, knowing how he was, like knowing his upbringing, knowing everything, like some of that stuff is actually worth listening to if you're actually going to break down, like not the lyrics, but what was the artist's mindset during that time.
Yeah, but that's an analytical point of view, which is great. And I would say I agree with that. The problem is that there are songs, though, that are really no need, and it's like super aggressive, very violent of some sort, right? And it's like, well, what am I gaining out of this?
Yeah, like Nicki Minaj's song, Wings and Pizza.
Wings and... Oh, my gosh.
You ever hear the Kid Bob's person?
No. They have a kid... They did that?
Yeah, Wings and Pizza. Look it up sometime. It's hilarious.
I can't even bother. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, it's Wings and Pizza.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, I guess you understand what I mean. You should be wise. Guard your heart. Make your heart God's and guard it, because there are things that will influence you away from God. We've all been there. And that's probably why pornography is so rampant, because it'll tap into a part of you that thinks, oh, there's a life behind that.
Yeah. And I guess that's where like I kind of guard my heart with like the people that like are like newly converted, that have been like through like the absolute worst, like those over the top. Like, I found this new church. I'm guarded against those people, because their level of enthusiasm, I don't know their intention yet. They could be saying one, just because they're saying one thing doesn't mean that's what they're trying to do. Because that honestly to me, that's how Satan works. He gives you the most joy up front to pull you in later.
I get that.
So until I figure out their intention...
Well, it's okay to have your guard up.
I'm kind of guarded against those people.
And it could be like guard up because this individual has done some horrible things. I get that.
Yeah.
But I also do believe that, man, there's nothing like when you first come to Christ. That, as an adult, when you truly, or at least where you're of age, where you truly understand who he is and you accept him, like that, it doesn't get more joyful than that. Except death, probably, when the sin in the body dies, right? But until then, it's like that relationship with Christ is so great. Dude, my whole life is flipped upside down. I'm probably that guy that's like, you gotta know Jesus. You gotta know Jesus. You gotta know Jesus.
No, you're like the people that I'm talking about. I've seen you when you go on, like, I'm just gonna use like religious rants.
Mm-hmm.
You are at your worst a quarter of what these people are.
Oh.
Yeah, these are like crack addicts. Like,
crack addicts.
You got anything? Like,
oh man,
I need some Bible right now. I'm like, you need to like sit down, calm down. Like, okay. I'm like, come on, really strong here.
He's trying to snort the words off the paper. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
it's like, I need you to calm down. He's gonna be here until you're not. Then don't worry about it.
Well, I hope for all those people's sake, though. Sometimes I'm going to give this advice. I think that if you do ever come across people like that, indulge a little bit and ask them questions, but like try to get them to really understand what they're accepting.
I do, but the problem is there's so... Like, I've met several people like that where to me, it's like, you're not going to change their mind. You're not going to like get their like mindset off of things. They're so into it that if you aren't their priest or pastor, you're not going to get through to them at all. They are so invested in the book and their church. If you're not up on like what's the word? I can't think of the word. What does the priest stand behind?
Pulpit.
Yeah. If you're not behind the pulpit, like, they're not going to believe anything you say. Like, if you as soon as you challenge anything, they will immediately shut you down and shut you out. And you are now what basically they think that you are now Satan.
I think that's a crux for a lot of Christians.
And that's where I just tell them, like, you know what, it's like whatever you are getting out of this, I hope it benefits you. But like, I'm not one to go into this level. Like, I don't want to dive in that deep because I feel like you're going past the mark.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like you can go past the mark.
100%. Yeah, I know. I'm passionate. I get that from my mom. She's a passionate woman. She's a Catholic, by the way, and she's I would say on the side of even apologist, whatever. She knows what the Catholic faith represents and believes, right? So she's very good at that. And I think that's why me and her butt heads sometimes, because like I'll go against the grain a little bit.
Yeah.
But I guess what we'll do is chow ends at 6:00. I'm missing chow. We're gonna blow right past that time.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna do one more verse,
Yeah.
and then we'll end it with we're gonna go into some sports.
That works.
Maybe I'll end it, and
Which
then
one of these pre-screened questions do you want to go with?
pre what?
Pre-screened questions.
Pre-screened. Well, since you're James, we can always go with James.
Right.
James 1:22. James 1:22.
It's not alphabetical.
No, it's not
I know.
alphabetical. Oh boy, I don't have my tab set up for New Testament.
I will say though, I do see that Ezekiel is in here. That's actually one book that I have been wanting to actually read.
It's a prophetic book, bro.
It's like
It's mind blowing.
I've seen it like referenced a lot, and I have no knowledge on it. So I'm like, I want to actually read it myself and see what it's about. I just don't have a Bible that has it
What?
in. I'm fairly sure the King James doesn't have it in.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna say 95 because I can be 5% wrong.
Well, the thing is, I would say no. It has to be in there. It is.
I'm gonna Google it while you're
Only
reading
because I
off.
know someone who is he holds on to the King James version, and he that's his Bible, and he talks a lot about Ezekiel. Unless you bought some kind of Bible off the corner, dude who's who goes by the name Jesus, and he's like, "Yo, you want to read about me?"
Or it honestly could be something where it's like I maybe just read through it and then didn't know what I was reading, and then later on I heard stuff about it. So there's plenty of times that I read something that I don't understand the relevance, so it's just like, okay, whatever,
Sure.
and then just keep going through, and then I was like, oh, well, that now matters. But
Yeah.
I've heard a bunch of people talk about it. It's like I want to actually go and see what people are talking about it.
All right, I'll go ahead and read it. If you want to, you're still hunting.
Yeah.
It's a tough book to find for whatever reason because it's so small. So it's easy to blow right past it. It's right
Got it.
after Hebrews. You got it?
122. Okay, got it.
So verse 22. So do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. I'm going to continue because I think that the next part is important. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. That's a deep message. So looking into the mirror and forgetting what you look like. You ever do that?
Yeah, so to me that just means that basically it's like, okay, it's like you're gonna go in, you're gonna do this, and then you immediately fall back into your own to your old ways. Like you haven't actually reflected on what you said you were going to change. It's a lot of empty promises.
Yeah.
And that's where the sincerity of religion matters. Like you can read, you can say, you can recite, but unless you actually believe, that's why they say some of the worst people in the world go to church on Sundays, and the best have tattoos up their arms.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, just your intent and your actual understanding of the what you want to believe.
Right.
It's just it's one thing yeah, okay. It's like you look in the mirror. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. I believe the Word of God. I read this, so I'm better than that person, and because he doesn't look like me. He looks like someone that would follow someone that I don't want to associate with. You don't actually know that person. Like, you can say it's like, okay, it's like, I'm going to do better today. Well, how are you going to do better today? I'm going to do better today. And then you go out and you don't know how you're going to do better today. You try to do better, and
That's the thing. Like, how do you actively do it? It says just do it.
yeah.
So how do you how do you just do it?
Yeah, but the thing though is you can't just do it until you have an idea of the person you want to be.
Right.
And you're going to have to hurt people to find out if you're doing it right or wrong. Because the only way you're going to know you are doing it wrong is if you get to see that you hurt somebody while you're thinking you're doing right. That's the only way you're going to be able to actually truly reflect on what you've done. Because if you only do right, you're not going to know wrong. That's the thing. You can't know pleasure without pain. You can't know happiness without sadness. Until you hit the negative, you don't know what right is.
Right. I got you. I like that point of view. That just takes a lot of, for someone to actively do it, it's like, hear the word, and it tells you what to do. Christ is always saying, do this, be that, and he sends you out to be active of the law, right? Or at least of doing his will. And I guess taking that step into doing what he wants you to do, you're right. You might hurt people's egos. That's a total different thing now. So when someone's like, ego is against God, you're going to hurt them. Like, at least just their
yeah. That's the thing is, like, I'm not going to feel bad hurting your ego if I know you are wrong. I'm going to feel bad if I was trying to do something to benefit you and it destroyed you. Then I'm going to feel like shit. It's like, that's not what I wanted at all. If my intent is to humble you, I don't feel bad that you've been humbled. But if my intent was to cheer you up, and I made you and I like made you more sad, it's
Sure.
like, that's not what I was going for.
right. Like,
I wasn't trying for that.
right.
So yeah, like you only know when you only know like the right path once you've taken the wrong one.
Yeah.
Because if you've always taken the right path and never the wrong one, how do you truly know that's the wrong one? Or that's the right one?
Right.
How do you know if you haven't experienced the opposite?
You don't.
Because I've gone out, I've done things one way, and I've gone out, I've done things another way. It's like, this way doesn't feel right, that way feels right. I'm going to continue doing this.
Yeah, and God lets you know.
Yeah.
God lets you know when you're doing wrong. If you have a relationship with him. If you don't have a relationship with him, though, it goes back to that Psalm 50. He'll be nice and quiet. And he's going to allow you to continue to screw up until you even have an open heart and an open mind towards him. And then that's when he'll come in.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like when you look at take top ranked fighters, when they are winning, and winning, like, or basically like the movie Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
He wins, and then he wins the top of the championship, and then what? He's in his gym doing just show boxing, like, hey, for the camera, like this and this. He thinks nobody is better than him.
Right.
His next fight, he's knocked down. He stopped trying when he thought he was at the top. And there's always somebody below you that wants to be where you are. So they're pushing to get to where you are. So the moment you stop pushing yourself to be better, that's when you take second place. Because someone else knows they are behind you. And they're like, okay, this is what I have to hit.
See, that's the beauty of the kingdom of God, though. The first shall be last, and last shall be first. Because, like, if your goal is to be better, but for the sake of being recognized, right? That's where I could see that analogy being in place. because now it's like you're putting yourself above what God is actually asking you to do. No humility, essentially.
Yeah, you just got to know like where, like just know that even if you think you're at the top, there's always another floor. There's always another step to take.
Absolutely.
And as soon as you decide to sit back and be like, I can't get any better than what I can, that's when you're going to get slapped down. And you're basically reality check. It's like,
unless you want to worship the devil, go ahead. Because then, you know what? You'll never get smacked down until the day you die. You're going to be number one in everything. He's going to give you the world. And then, when it's time to go, and your time will come, then you'll get it. And it's going to be really rough.
You go from first to last. He goes from, while you're living, he's serving you. As soon as you die, you're serving him.
That's right.
And most people don't realize that. It's not the short game, it's the long game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a pleasure having you on, brother. We actually got pretty deep in there. I didn't expect the conversation about the churches. However, I'm glad that happened because that's kind of really why I started the open gospel. It was one of the main reasons because of the differences in the church and how we all point at one another and everybody thinks they're right, which that's not, I don't think, how Jesus looks at everyone. I think he looks at us as a body. And so I'm glad we covered that.
I do always like to surprise people.
Yeah.
And I do have, because I feel like you don't, like I said, I feel like you have a better understanding of who I am, but I don't feel like you fully understand who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to throw one more curveball at you.
Hit me.
So, if I could pick one Bible verse, what do you think that would be that I it sticks with me, that I try to kind of live my life by?
You.
Yeah. There's one that has always stuck out to me.
And it's one that it's probably like 12,000 Bible verses, if not more.
I know.
I'm gonna try to
I know. It's one that I heard just once somewhere. I saw it and I researched it, and I just really like. I like the open message that it has.
And obviously, it's not the golden rule.
No,
that'd be too easy. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me.
So, Deuteronomy 31:6. So I was kind of like flipping through, like trying to keep my head up and stuff, like looking through, but I found it. So, Deuteronomy 31:6 is, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you."
That's right.
And that's one thing that's why I push and do everything that I do, because I know that if I fail, he'll still be there. If I succeed, he's there. And end of the day, it's not, like I said, it's not about me. Because when I truly need him, he's already shown he will be there. But I don't get to decide when I truly need him. So, if I'm down and I think I'm at the bottom, if he's not there, it's like I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm like, I guess this isn't bottom yet. Okay.
Yeah, you're still breathing.
Yeah. When I truly hit bottom, that's when he'll be there. Just kind of just grab my collar and be like, up you go. Okay, keep going.
That's the truth. Well, that was a good way to end it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, brother. Well, we're going to move on. I'll conclude this with the open gospel, and then I guess we'll head on to the sports talk. All right. So, what time is it?
It is
5:40. Yeah. We want to... Do you need to take a leak at all, or are you good?
I mean, I'm good unless you got it, so.
No, I mean, I could go, but I could wait.
Yeah.
So now what we'll do is... Let's do some MLS talk.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of this one will probably be a lot of like more short type
probably
material.
Yeah. It's not as deep as...
No. And even I'm going to have a lot of short material with the other one as well. But I mean, for the soccer reasons, a lot of times I catch myself doing it, where I'm looking for shorts that quickly hit a topic that explains something that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on in the league?
Yeah, you're not sure what you're actually looking for until it's like, that's the question.
That's the question. So we're an hour and 15 in, which means around an hour and 12, hour and 13 is where we ended it. Ish. I'll make sure I remember that for editing. All right, let's see.
I mean, you got an audio cue now, so.
I got the audio cue.
Yeah.
113.
Sunday, Sunday, be there.
Yeah, we'll just go right into it because this is the easy conversation. Yeah. Sometimes religion conversation can be difficult. But now we're talking about Philadelphia Union, who you are a huge fan of. I'm a big fan, but I'm not a season ticket holder. Therefore, I'm next level down of a fan.
Yeah, I will say I've already told my wife that when we have our kid, I'm probably just to keep the discount going. We may go from 2 season tickets to 1. I'm like, I'm going to keep it, and if I can't go, I'll just try selling or pawn them off. I mean, Snell or Smearlick is usually always up to buying. So
there you go.
Discounted because they've gotten expensive. I don't know if you've seen it now, but with my season ticket price, I'm like $35 a ticket. If you want to just go off the street of like SeatGeek and buy where I sit,
yeah.
After fees, it's like $55. When I first started going to these games, it was like $20.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I'm like,
and it's only going up.
Oh yeah.
So Philadelphia Union this year, you were informing me because I was unaware, but I was kind of pissed off that they weren't doing any changes this year. They weren't making any moves. They weren't making any sweet deals with any players out there except that one who they got from
Argentina.
What was the rights? Remember the thing we looked it up and we're like, what the heck is that? It was like the Q rights, the thing that Neymar he was going to go to Chicago for.
Oh yeah, so Neymar's not going there anymore, and also De Bruyne's not going to MLS currently anymore.
De Bruyne, the one that was coming with us.
No, he was the guy from Man City.
Yeah. Wow, he's not going there?
No, he's going to. I think he's still there, but like, there's more talks that a Brazilian team, or it's either Brazil or Argentina is talking with him, but nothing has been actually like made official with him yet.
I'm surprised. I thought San Diego was probably going to be a sweet move for him.
I mean, San Diego coming in, between following the MLS and a little bit of the USL, San Diego is a bit of a thorn. Because San Diego already has a USL team. All their fans, their fan base, thought the USL team was going to get the bump up.
Uh-huh.
They decided to completely not use the minor league team and go brand new.
Right.
With a logo that is 90% the same as them, but different. And they're pissed off about that. They're like, using our colors, using our name, like, you're not using us. So the USL team is kind of boycotting that a little bit.
Wow.
Basically bringing in a new market.
Yeah. Sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Idiots.
I mean, I used to be a USL supporter, and surprisingly, so I don't know if you heard this, but the Harrisburg City Islanders are actually coming back.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they are coming back.
No more Penn FC though, right?
No, so they are actually the Capital City Islanders. It's a mixture of Penn FC and Harrisburg City Islanders.
Okay.
But they are a 4th tier.
So they're going to be supporting the USL 3.
There is no technically there is no USL like 3. It's like UPS. It's a Pennsylvania State League type thing. Eventually, they want to get up into USL 2, which is funny because Penn FC originally only wanted to be in if they were going to be in USL champion. So the main stakeholder pulled out after after a 500 season.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 year pulled out. And they killed the team.
Well, he wasn't a true holder then. Screw him.
No,
personally, I like Penn FC.
Yeah, but it is a company that you probably have heard of. Compelled Sports.
Oh.
Yeah, they were the main stakeholder that bought it and wanted to rebrand as a professional. The only reason that I know is because I got an email stating that they are holding open tryouts.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
You thinking about it?
I kind of wanted to, but I'm like, I am nowhere near in practice. I played with some of the high school kids and stuff at like some of the open games. I'm like, man, I'm way out of practice.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm going to share my gripe with Philadelphia Union. First is they fire the coach. That was a terrible move. First of all, it was more of a disrespect thing to the city. And I think this new guy, I think he's going to do well, but he's got big shoes to fill. And Jim Curtin, if he was given any kind of extreme talent, because we have talented guys. I don't want to say anything about the players.
Talented and experienced at the top level.
Like Gosdegg, for example, I like him. I expect more out of him, and he doesn't. He doesn't do it.
Thing is, this year he doesn't. So he doesn't have anyone to challenge his spot. So he's stagnant. That's the thing is he is stagnant because he has no one to challenge his spot. His spot is challenged by Anderson and McGlynn, and the system does not play to McGlynn's strengths.
Being a left-footed.
So, even though we have, so Philly has a diamond, but not a true diamond. We have an attacking mid and a defensive mid, but it's not a true diamond.
Oh.
Yeah, it's almost like a flat. It's almost like a flat diamond. Because I don't know if you saw the recent USA match. McGlynn had a hellish thing that everyone's saying is like a. Patches for Team USA benefits McGlynn because it is a true diamond. When you have both your guys pulling up, covering the wing, and two in the center, it allowed McGlynn to get up front and actually rip a shot.
Oh.
Where a lot of, if you look like what Philly does, a lot of it is down the wing play. They do a ton of down the wing play, which I personally like it, but I would like it better as a fullback pushing up the high. I prefer like the fullback press.
Gotcha.
So that's why like when we had Elliott, Glesnes, and Lowe, I actually really liked having the 5 back with allowing Harriel, Bizo, and Wagner pressing up high. Mm-hmm. I'd almost like to see like a 5-4-1 setup. But then do you go with Baribo or Ura up front? Personally, I'd rather have Baribo as our guy up top.
Well, he produces more.
Yeah.
He's been so productive since he's hit the field.
Yeah, because he hasn't had chances for us. Now he's trying to make a name. Ura has a name.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ura never had a breakout season either.
No, he plays stiff. He plays very stiff. He's very linear, doesn't move around too much. He doesn't seem to be dynamic. He's one of those guys, if he gets set, he will absolutely shoot. I would rather see, I said, if we can do like a 5-back, have both the fullbacks pressing up into the upper wings, but that's where their stamina, but they're also young, so that's going to help them. So if we can get like Harriel and Wagner up inside the box, like inside the box wings, like the outside the box wings to cross in, you have Baribo center basically challenging the goalie, but then you'll have, say, like McGlynn, Sullivan, and then whoever else on the right side. You have basically 4 up top, like basically centralized 4 up top, and then to the middle, and then you have your 3, and then your defensive mid. He's hovering around the actual crescent. Have him for your long shots. I haven't seen Danley's long shots yet, but if you can have your 3 center backs holding around midfield, your defensive mid gets to sit up top, and you get 4 to 5 guys inside the box with your defensive guys crossing in. That's going to be a huge amount of talent inside the box pressing towards the goal.
Yeah, I mean, I get the whole crossing in thing, but there was times where I thought Philly was too much. That they would cross in, block, kicked out, cross in, and that's all they constantly did. And I noticed that at least last season there was more of a direct approach through the working their way up and through the middle, which I personally like a lot. I like that style of play because I like to see shots. I like to see these risky moves.
Yeah, our problem is that if you look at it, who do we got working the center?
Technically, it's Gazdag.
Yeah, but do you know Gazdag from his
too.
shooting, or do you know him from his footwork? McGlynn, is he a passer, a shooter, or
Passer.
a playmaker? Brebo, what person do you see that has footwork? Our guys need to be shooting from the top of the box to the PK spot. They're too strong. They don't have finesse. Our best finesse guy, I would say personally, is Sullivan.
100%.
But he's a left mid, left wing.
He's underutilized.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is for your style of play, we don't have finesse people to do it. That's where I want to see.
This is why they break down in the box, or break down just outside the box.
Yeah, because they're trying to do finesse work, and we don't have finesse players. We have guys that want to punch a hole through a brick wall, and we're trying to ask them to go around the wall. No, just rip it from up top. You guys are strong. You guys are accurate. When you guys get inside and you're doing fancy footwork, that's where you overstep and you're like,
right, 100%. It's annoying. I would prefer to see them take a blast at the net from outside, get basically save with the rebound, come up and try to follow through.
Yeah, that's where
we should have guys following through, trying to push in.
That's where I kind of want to see what more Calvin can do this year, because he could be that other finesse guy that we have.
Yeah, but are they going to play him a lot? Because he's only going to be 15.
Not as much. He'll probably come. Honestly, personally, I see him this year as a second half sub. I'm really hoping that they use Bedoya more as a second half sub. The problem is we have too many midfielders, and I want to see us take more of a offensive stance with heavy defensive team. And defensively, we are thin.
Yeah, we are.
Especially
that'll make us lose games. Period.
Elliott gone, Lowe gone. We have one guy that's tested in the center. We have a new guy that we got from Argentina. Haven't seen him play yet. And
I hope he's a brick wall.
And we have an academy guy. If we're playing a 4-back, we essentially have Bizo, Harriel, Wagner.
Who might be going away this year.
It depends. But Wagner, no sub for Wagner because Harriel takes... If Wagner gets hurt, Harriel goes over, plays his spot, and Bizo goes in for Harriel. So we don't have a left back replacement. And we have one tested center back, one new center back, and a U2 center back. So we don't have depth in defense, and that's where we get beat. Because I don't know if you saw the table last year. We were the only team to not make playoffs.
That was in the green for goal differential.
Yeah. Everyone else was like -7, -18, -32.
Made no sense.
We were +7, which means our
teams that beat us into the playoffs had a negative goal differential.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Which means that our issue wasn't offense, it was defense.
But we had a positive goal differential.
Yes, but we'd win the hard game, or we'd lose the hard games 2-1. We'd win the easy games 4-0. The games we were supposed to win, we'd win 4-0. But the hard games, so it's somewhere it's like, if you play the teams that are bottom of the table, that are like Chicago, New England, like Houston, like you're playing them, you're beating them.
Gotta name earthquakes in there.
Yeah, it's like you're naming them 4-0, 5-0, like 4-0. Right there is like 13 points, but then you lose 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-3, 0-2. That adds up over time. We had more like losses by 1 or 2 goals, and then we had like a couple games against like bottom leagues that were like.
But you're saying that's offense. To me, that's defense issue. Or you're saying it's defensive. I say it's offensive issues. Because then if we're losing by 1, it's because we're not performing on the other end of the field.
But then when we do get the opportunity, we're up 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, if we lose like 1-3,
I don't know what was going on with Philly. What a disappointing year. It's okay though.
Yeah.
I think we need a new structure at this point. Like now that the coach is gone, Curtin was a huge loss. But I'm looking forward to seeing us play again because I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss soccer. I like watching European ball. Don't get me wrong, but it's not my home team.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, I am currently, like, I did find out, I got some numbers from the league for if we want to, so I'm trying to push it with my first sergeant for, like, the May AT.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Try to get a group together.
Dude, that'd be super cool.
I already have tickets for it, so it'd be like, it's like, hey, if we can get a GSA, it'd be great because I'm usually the guy driving home.
Let's see. I have a couple of things I want to talk about. Actually, we're going to go right into something I've always vouched for because I feel like I don't see enough coverage on it.
All right.
Promotion, relegation.
Yeah, like I said, I personally would like to see that more in U.S. sports because I hate the whole idea of you're the worst team in the league, you get the number 1 draft pick, so at a certain point when you realize you're not going to do good, you purposely start tanking to get a higher draft spot.
My only issue with that is how do you purposely tank and how do you do it without hurting the career of the players that can be kicked off the team that year?
I mean, generally teams that tank that year, once the coaching staff decides to start tanking, you don't see a lot of first team movement. You don't see a lot of first team movement because they know the reason is, okay, it's like I'm purposely holding these guys back because I'd rather have the draft pick to fill a spot we don't have.
Right.
But then look at, like, Browns have done it, Bengals have done it. Like, there's certain teams that they've done it purposely because they're like, okay, we got this guy. He wasn't a great. We picked him. I thought he was going to be a great quarterback. He wasn't. So let's just. I'm calling shit plays purposely to hold back.
Yeah.
I don't fully know how much the super draft helps because I don't see a lot of super draft people coming out. I see more transfers and academy guys coming up.
I think we outgrew the super draft.
Yeah.
That's a thing in the past. Now it's all about getting scouted and working your way up through the different teams that you play for, like USL and stuff. And
there is one thing, though, that I would love to shadow somebody on.
What's that?
I would love to shadow, like, the talent scouts that go to, like, U10, U8 games and, like, that kid. I want to see what they see in a kid that's 9. That's like, he'll be something. Because I've seen 8, 9, 10-year-olds play. I've seen some that are mildly better than others. But I've never seen someone that I was like,
that kid's a future Messi.
oh yeah, he's pro. Like, kid's a pro. Like,
right.
I would love to see what those recruiters and scouts see. It's like, show me that 10-year-old. Like, show me why you've been watching Cavan since 8. Show me why you guys have been watching Pulisic since 10. Like, what did they show? What am I not seeing?
It's probably like basic stuff, like the basic engagement with the ball. So like the first touches, the dribblings, the accuracy of the shots, and they're saying, wow, that could develop. I don't think it's like, hey, that kid maybe it's pickup speed too, like the initial takeoff or positioning, and like something that comes natural to him, to where it's like that kid is clearly understanding the game of the sport. He understands it to a level and actually is able to perform at a level that's way above the rest of the kids around him. He's getting shots on goal and stuff like that. Like, I think it has a lot to do with their ability to read the game. Look, Kevin, me personally, you were just saying we don't have a dribbler or a finesse.
Yeah.
That kid's got finesse.
Yeah, and that's why I was like when Philly picked up from Orlando, Torres, I thought he was going to be utilized so much more.
Me too.
He got like 3 games in. I was like, why is he like, he's filling a gap we don't have.
Right.
What am I missing?
His debut, he had that turnaround, incredible move in the middle, and then had that incredible pass for the assist. And it was like,
I'm looking at him like,
this kid's our guy.
I'm like, that's what we're missing. And I'm like, but they want, I don't know. I don't fully know if I want to, like, say, I mean, I've done like FIFA managers and stuff, so I don't know, do I want a CAM or do I want just a regular CM? Do I want a regular, like, central midfielder? Or do I want an attacking mid?
I want a traditional central midfielder.
So whenever I'd play, I'd always do either a 4-4-2 because that's what I grew up with, or sometimes a 4-3-3. It's only recently since I saw Philly do like, I know, like, Apple listed it as much less, but I personally put it as a 5-1-2-1-2 because of how it was, kind of how like much space there was. Like, it was so much space for me. It was like, like I said, I've been recently looking into like having a more like high press defense, and I kind of like that a little bit more because I like having the big guys back central. You don't get beat in the air, but you gotta have guys that know how to play man coverage inside the box.
Right.
And I know you're a fan of Elliott, and that's where I kind of felt like
I was a big fan. Yeah, I liked him.
I kind of felt like that's where he lacked. He wasn't a great man coverage center back. When Blake was out, that showed his weakness.
Well, let me be fair real quick. I have to make this very clear. Glesnes is my favorite defenseman that we've ever had.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoy that wacko. Like, yeah. He's the crazy dude on the field, in my opinion. He's just that, like, he just has that stare. But
I will say, like, I'm going to Norway in May.
Uh-huh.
I actually found out that his hometown is like a half hour south of one of the towns I'm going to. I may just tell Alicia, like, hey, I'm gonna find a way to get down here just to take a picture next to the sign and just send it to him. Like,
yeah, he's my favorite. And then the other guy, Elliott, the reason why I appreciate him so much is because that final against LAFC, he was the most random player to step up to make that game super competitive. Yeah,
and it was disappointing that I said
But he got dunked on as well. It was him who got dunked on from Bale.
Oh yeah, I said, even though I was sitting 200 level, he had his back to him. He never saw him coming. I was like, as soon as I saw that cross come in, looked over, saw Bale, saw Elliott, I'm like,
you were like, it's over.
I'm like, he doesn't see him. Like,
oh, dude, he dunked on him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like what you see in the NBA, literally dunking.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, because Alicia was like, Alicia was there. She was like, it's like, we're probably no. Like, until that final whistle is, I know Philly sports. Until that final whistle blows, you don't cheer. Like, it's Philly sports. It's all or nothing. It's either it's like we're up, but that doesn't mean anything.
Nope. Philly proved it that whole year. Phillies lost, Union lost, Eagles all lost. All in this, everyone made it to the final. Philly had to drop the ball in all cases. So I'm down there in the city too. So like, pretty rough crowd afterwards.
Yeah. So I was there in the stadium. I was like, I just sat down afterwards and just kind of sat their head down after the PKs, and I was like, she just looks over. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I will be. I'm just disappointed." She's like, "It's like, but I can't deny what I've seen." She's like, "Yeah, no, Phil." I was like, "No. I can't deny what I've just seen." She's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, I just watched the greatest MLS Cup
ever
in history. Like this, like I've been following this league for like 8 years now. Nothing that I've seen has been this. Like this game, it was never a side that ran away with it. It was always like you had no idea. LA went up, Philly went up, LA went up, Philly went up. It's like you did not know what was going to happen until that final whistle. And I'm like, I just saw the best game. I just saw the best game in this league's history since 96. And she's like, "No, I can't believe it." The next day, every single news article was the greatest MLS Cup final.
They still mentioned
history.
They just mentioned it this past year. Like every time the final came up, and the first thing we won't forget a few years ago in LA.
I'm like
you got to witness it. Don't get me wrong. I'm mad that we lost, but I'm also proud as hell that that's how we lost. That it came down to that. The goalie broke his leg to stop us from scoring. It's like you can't write this.
Good on him. I just hate that it was Gareth Bale that scored, that came off the bench, because he was a high dollar signing that was supposed to be a starter that ended up being a super sub. I'm like,
good move on their part. He subbed in perfect timing, and he had all that energy.
Yeah,
and he was fighting off a lot of injuries. Now he's a professional golfer. All right, so to get on to more, so Pro Rel, we agree we won it, but we want it closed, right? So you want a MLS 1, MLS 2, 15 teams in the top, 15 in the second.
Personally, I would love for it to be like how like England is. England's Pro Rel goes 16 leagues deep. You can start as a rec league and make it to the Premier League.
Yeah, I get that. The problem would be that the investors get destroyed. Like they have so many people losing money. The whole point of the closed system is to keep our investors from losing their money at this point.
Well, I'm saying the thing is, with English, there's a pathway. Doesn't mean it happens. Just because you want your kid at 5 to be a scientist doesn't mean they're going to be a scientist.
But like Leeds and United, when they got relegated, that crushed their ownership.
Yeah,
and that sucks because like you don't. That's one thing European leagues envy about ours. They said the closed system makes the most sense for investment and stuff like that, and they think that is wise because it keeps you from overspending, indulging into banks and stuff like with Barcelona. They're 500, 600, $800 million in debt. You can't have that.
Yeah,
and
Barcelona, PSV, Real Madrid. They take
the same winners every year.
They take a net loss every year.
Yeah,
because they're going for the trophy rather than profit.
Correct.
Which I personally, I envy that level of commitment. I envy that you're willing to spend the money and take a net loss as a fan perspective.
If they decided not to spend 1 year though, and like just kind of sit back and just accept the low, like no trophy or whatever, they make money. Yeah. They're right back to square one. They'll be making so much that it's ridiculous. So they already understand that they're just a few steps ahead. All they have to do is if they really want to earn. I guess if the owner's getting ready to change out, probably the best thing to do is sit back, don't make any moves, and just I don't know. That's just my theory.
Yeah, but then as a fan, you're like,
yeah, but Pro Rel would have to still come with its benefits. Your number one league in MLS
well,
get paid more.
I was gonna say I don't see Barcelona going from like top to
They'll
relegated.
No.
I see them going from like top to, hey, it was a really shitty year. What do you mean? We got 5th.
Yeah, we didn't make Champions League.
Yeah, it's like
right. I want that in our league. I want that style, that desire, that competitiveness, and I think we can get it honestly if we just put the money up. We got to put the money up. But now, so there's a couple teams in play that are thinking about they're the next ones in line to make 31 and 32. And as it says here, I found this. It says that they basically continue. They're looking to possibly make both those teams as part of the 26 expansion for the World Cup. So you'll have two teams at one time coming in. Technically, yeah, because that would make it 32.
Okay. Which two spots are they?
What's that?
Which two cities?
So here, who would you rather? So we got Detroit. That's one of them. There was talks about Raleigh, but the problem is it's too close to Charlotte, and apparently MLS is not about that unless MLS it's a super soccer town.
MLS has a 75. So that's why Philly is where they are because of the Red Bulls. They have a 75-mile no composition zone.
Right, but New York and LA are exceptions because of their soccer town and how populated. So that's why I don't think that one's going to go through. But so far you have Detroit, Tampa Bay, or Phoenix.
So would it be the USL Rowdies coming up, or would it be a brand new Tampa Bay team? Because I know Tampa Bay does have a Rowdies.
Yeah, and they've been around forever.
Yeah, and I don't.
Me personally, I'd take the Rowdies, bring them up. Detroit has a big backing too.
Do you ask them to rebrand to sound more professional?
No,
because I would say the least professional. Honestly, we only have two teams that are the least professional sounding, which would be Seattle and
Sounders,
Houston.
Yeah, but Sounders works because it's been around forever.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Houston Dynamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never liked that name.
Everyone else is kind of FC United.
I always wish Union would have an FC or SC at the end.
Personally, I'm not a huge fan of SC.
Yeah, it's too American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But it'd be really cool. But
although most people don't know, it's like soccer is a British term.
Is it?
Yeah. Originally, they called it soccer.
I did not know that.
And then when the Americans stopped it, they went back to football. So British actually coined the term soccer. That's why we use soccer.
Oh.
And then the British didn't like that we used their terms, so they went back to football.
Damn. British were like, we hate you, America.
Yeah. We're calling it football.
I get it.
The rest of the U.S. calls it football. Like, okay, well.
So I'd like to see Tampa Bay and Detroit.
Although
Detroit would be cold as hell, though.
I know it. I mean, can't be any worse than Minnesota.
True.
I have a friend who lives in Minnesota. He'll send us like weather updates. He'll be like, "Hey, just so you guys know, it's -10 today. Wind chill feels like -40." He's like, "I don't know why I live where the wind hurts my face."
All right, Ray, I got a couple questions for you.
Right.
Where's Union on the table?
So until we actually get like some pickups, like I said, we need defensive depth.
But where, as of right now, where are you placing them?
I mean, I would say honestly, like with how our midfields are, like optimistically, we are not top of the table, but we definitely have we have like 80% the same team. We just need a little better coaching strategy to it. I would say optimistically, I would like to say 5th in the East.
Wow, that's much higher than what I'm thinking.
Fifth or 6th. Like we have players, we just need to change the strategy, the thought process. Like
I think we're gonna get outspent and we're gonna get outplayed now because everybody in the league's spending. It's okay. Maybe we'll have our day, but I'm going with 9th.
It's like I
think we're gonna barely make it.
It's like I don't think we need to spend with what we have. We just need. I mean, honestly, if Philly does spend as bad as it sounds, like we have, I really like Baribo up top.
Me too.
Ura is a great supporter. Gazdag, if he gets challenged, Gazdag is good. But otherwise, I like McGuinn. I like Sullivan. I like Bedoya as a super sub.
Right.
I don't know who I'd put as a starter on right. Would you start Sullivan as right? Because honestly, the midfield's really changed this year with losing Flock. Usually it was okay, it wasn't gonna be Flock and Sullivan out there. And as much as I like Bueno, I like Danley a little bit better than Bueno, But Bueno is Martinez Jr.
Yeah. I'm going to miss Martinez. Dude, I enjoyed watching him play.
I wish I would have got like found one of his cards to get his auto on it.
Yeah, I found one of them. It was expensive though, $20. That's expensive to me.
Honestly, 20 if I knew I wasn't good. I would have spent 20 if I would have known I wouldn't get this chance again.
Right. Yeah, he was a good player. I liked him. All right, where you placing Miami? Not where you want them, where you think they're actually going to end up.
I mean, honestly, I was so convinced I was so convinced, but I was so hoping so last season I put $100 down on Miami to win the whole thing. I was banking on them going farther than what they did.
Yeah,
but I was so happy that they didn't. It was when I was
you're like money well spent.
I was like I wanted them to lose, but like it's one of those things. Like just because you want someone to lose doesn't mean they're going to. Like
absolutely,
you want that fucking fifth grader to beat like Joe Frazier. Is there a chance that he could beat him? Yeah. Is it going to happen? It's a 99% chance. No. Because they were a powerhouse from the wallet.
Absolutely.
And I hated that about them.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the one thing that is saving Philly with what they're trying to do is Miami not winning the whole thing. That saved Philly with their thought process. Because Miami went straight out of the pocket money. So with Miami not winning the whole thing, I was so glad to see it. It's like, okay, Philly does have a chance. It doesn't mean you have to spend. Just because you have Messi, Suarez, all those top guys, just because you have that money doesn't mean you're buying a championship.
I agree. I think they're going to get it this year. To be fair, I really do. I think they're going to go. They're going to get it, and it's mainly because it's the year before the World Cup, and they're going to put everything they got in this, and they're going to win it. Now that they're a little bit more of what's that called? They're more established. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
They're going to. To me, I think they're going to rock this year, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. But
they're always going to be a tough team to beat. But at the same time, I'm kind of hoping that the other teams stepping up, and with Messi aging, can he stay healthy? Because he already showed with his last international.
Yeah,
stint.
but you saw that.
Oh yeah, that was a hell of a hit. Like I mean,
oh, and the ankle just rolled. Oh,
yeah,
dude. Oh.
But that's the thing is, what's not to say a team that's already out doesn't just do that, especially when you get to international play. With like. That's one thing. Like, my wife loves CONCACAF and CONMEBOL games. She loves when Philly plays international teams.
It's cool as hell. I love it.
They are the dirtiest teams I've ever seen. So what's not to say that a team like Colombia that's in the running, you got a guy who it's like, hey, this is your only chance to really play for us. We know you're not going to start, but we'll consider you if you take out Messi. You do what we do, maybe you'll get a call back.
I don't know if that's how that works. Maybe.
Some players like listen, like
he's bringing revenue to them.
The thing though is South American teams, South and Central American teams, if they played like that in European leagues, half the team would be red carded.
Correct.
Yeah. Like I've seen the play. I'm like, I don't understand what these like CONCACAF refs are not seeing. I'm like, this is
they're trying to let him play.
Yeah. But
a little bit of an aggressive style. Not a little bit, a lot.
There's a overly aggressive style.
I'll never forget Wagner getting plowed by the Saprissa. Remember that? It was a few years ago. Dude, a big fight broke out.
I will say the one play that stands out to me the most was when I went over to Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see a random game. I found out that there was a soccer game in the city that I was going to be that night. It was the St. Patrick Athletics.
Oh yeah,
they are a hair short of rugby.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
in soccer,
dude, Philly at their worst would destroy both these teams. But there was one play that I saw where the center back stayed back. He was tying his shoe. Ball came forward. They immediately lost it. A high through ball came through. The center back just got done tying his shoe. Looks up, sees the ball coming in. He comes sprinting out to challenge it. He realized he was going to be a half step short of beating the striker. So the striker was going to come in, just foot out, tap it to the side, and get around him. The striker realized it. So the striker goes up, at a certain point, stops, plants, lowers his shoulder. You see the striker watching the ball. All of a sudden you see the striker, heels overhead, flips. Like, center back never touched the ball. The ball bounced straight over, like missed the center back by like 5 feet. Look, flips him over, goes flying. And I'm watching him like, holy shit, that's a...
The ref didn't call it?
That's a red card. I at the ref. Ref's like... Ref's just hand straight like... No shit! Like, the person was like, what? Like, he called play on. One thing, the ref just called play on. Like, he just... Like, that guy just lowered his shoulder and like... flipped him. I'm like, never played the ball. I'm like,
did the crowd go nuts? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So just this league, even though it was the Irish Premier League, the other team kicked the ball out right at the supporter section. You see the fans for the Irish, like for the St. Patrick's, ball came right to them. They're there. Volleyballing the ball back where they try to like pass it around, and you see the other, like, the away team player was like come on back, just like ref. The ref's just standing there, staring at his watch, like, and then after a while he's like, ref's like, all right,
and they all throw the ball.
Yeah,
oh my
like,
gosh.
I'm like, my God, like this is like. This is their
backyard soccer.
This is their Premier League, but it's 100% backyard soccer.
Dude,
like,
that is awesome.
Come on. Like, all my guys like,
Never playing NFL hits?
Yeah.
That's probably what it's like in soccer, though.
It's like Blitz the League.
Yeah, Blitz the League.
It's like, I watch them like,
wow.
This is like, I've never seen this style of play. It's like, I could see how people don't last long here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dangerous as hell. So who do you got winning the West?
In the West?
Yeah. You thinking LA is going to take the cake on this one this year?
I mean, I say ever since that final, I've always been like heavily against LAFC.
Oh, without a doubt, they're probably my least favorite team now.
Trying to pull us up because I actually
naturally I think they're, in my eyes, they're Philly's second biggest rival. Number one is NYCFC. I can't stand them.
Yeah, so there are honestly two teams from the West that I don't know why. Just certain teams, they've done things in the past that I'm constantly rooting for them. One, because I really like their jerseys.
RSL.
So RSL is one of them because I really like their goalie, Ramondo.
Okay.
He honestly, dude, he's just that fucking little Mexican guy that just like, he beat all odds.
Yeah.
To be an insane goalie for no reason. And the other one, because I personally fucking love their jerseys.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Oh, really?
Have you seen their jerseys?
Yeah.
The Galaxy jerseys?
You really like them, though, huh?
Dude, they are so fucking cool.
Wow.
That and also just my one friend, I actually asked him. He actually lives 10 minutes from the stadium that I play online with him. I told him, like, hey, like, I'm going to... So, my one friend that lives out in Minnesota, my brother actually met him online from playing video games. He played video games with him for like 2 years. I started playing video games with him, so it was always him, my brother, and me. We've been playing video games for like 5 years straight. Never actually met. He actually flew out here so we can watch a Penn State versus Minnesota college hockey game.
Wow.
So he fucking flew out here. He's like, I fucking trust you guys. Like, fucking go see a hockey game out here. So we finally got to meet in person. It was like, yeah, we'll go out and meet you guys. And I found out that he lives 10 minutes from the Loon Stadium. I'm like, I'm going to start studying the team sheets and stuff. And I'm going to find a game where we can go out to see the Loons play.
Instead of his crib?
One that I can almost guarantee that they're going to win.
Yeah, because you want to be through the Wonderwall.
Oh, yeah. I fucking absolutely. Because, like I said, I went to, like...
They had a big signing this year.
Yeah, 2 years. So, 2 years ago, it was me, my wife, and my one friend. We actually went up and saw Toronto FC play. Because we were going to go to Niagara Falls. And, like, well, fucking Toronto's not that far away. That was the year. Like I said, I picked this game. I got his ticket 7 months out before the game. Mm-hmm. That was the year that Toronto had 4 wins.
Wow.
4 wins total. Not 4 home wins. 4 wins. And I chose one of the 4 wins. My friend's like, how much soccer do you watch? I'm like, maybe too much, because they only won 4. Yeah, it was them versus DC. I was like, dude, Toronto's team sheet versus DC. There's no way DC should win this game. And then it's like, oh, Toronto's doing really shit this year. I'm like, hope I picked the fucking win game. It's like, after the end, I was like, dude, Toronto is like, this is their 3rd win on the season. I'm like, I don't know how I picked this. Toronto should be doing so much better. Like, their team sheet, they should be doing so much better.
Yeah.
Dick, how did I pick this?
Whatever.
Yeah.
For me, the West, I want to see the Quakes step up. I think they're going to have a good year. I think they'll be a surprising 5 or 6. But I do think that, man, I hate to say that LAFC might take the crown again. Although I want to see Galaxy take it. But the problem is Galaxy has Puig. He's injured for apparently half the season already. He's already, because of his...
Still?
So it's going to be, they're saying about halfway through the 25 season he'll come back.
Jeez, that's a hell of an injury.
Yeah.
I will say that, honestly, I can't get behind either LA.
What? You don't like Galaxy at all?
No,
I like Puig. I'm going to be honest. He's
I mean, I got to see him play live against Philly, and he fucking dominated against Philly.
Is it Puig or Puig? Ricky Puig.
So it's Puig.
Puig?
Yeah, Ricky Puig.
Puig?
Yeah.
Man, I was saying it wrong. Puig. Ricky Puig.
But yeah, no, it's just I just can't get behind either LA teams.
I like the Sounders, but I'm also glad they're not really main top. They're dominating every year again, because they were dominating there for a while.
I mean,
Sounders, good run. Toronto.
Sounders, Portland. I'm glad they're out of the mix.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of sick of seeing them. I do want to see Quake step up though, and then
I will say I was sad. Like I used to care about the Quakes when they had Cade Cowell.
Yeah,
but he's now playing in Mexico. That's one kid I want to see what he does more.
Yeah.
Cade Cowell surprised the shit out of me. Like, I don't know, just something about him, I just really like his play style. He's got that kind of like Theo Vaughn vibe to him. You either like him or you hate him, but I'm like, like Cade Cowell. I don't know why. There's something about Cade Cowell where it's like,
cool.
I want to see what you could do.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I do have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I can cut this up pretty good though.
All right.
Do you have to? Do you have a YouTube account?
Not that I care about. I made like one video that was me with like a little RC helicopter, but
I'm wondering if you could post it.
If
I chop it up and edit and send it your way.
I mean, I can post it, but I can tell you, I got like 0 followers.
It don't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it don't matter. When it gets hit, it'll hit an algorithm, and based on how those first 100 do, if people like are interested in it, or whatever, it'll run.
Yeah, so I can post it. I can't guarantee any help, but I can post it.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably because mine's a religious account. Obviously, I won't be able to put it on there and let it flow because it won't because it will go against the algorithm that my account's already set up for. So it would have to be. It would have to either I create another one, which I have another account that's like a. Yeah, do I have another account? I could probably create one. But unless you want to just use yours to publish. I'll do the editing.
Either or.
Because I can make them pretty interesting. I'm learning a lot from that one kid. I'm like, yeah, I can get this.
Yeah.
So, but I do have to wrap it up.
All right.
It was a pleasure, brother. I appreciate you being on here. And, man, we'll have to do it again in the future. And I think I can be more prepared for the soccer talk as well. I think, well, maybe we can do it while the season's going. Like, might be a little easier to discuss things that are going on actively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, there's always players that are like, you think they're going to do something, and then injury, they don't.
Right.
They don't help, and then the replacement steps up, and it's like, oh, shit. Where's this guy from?
Yeah. Yeah. But, all right, man. Have a good night, and take care, y'all.